Hey guys, Levi here with Brassman Realty. What I want to show you today is how to put in an offer on the Connecticut MLS through the MLS itself. Okay, so take a look. We're going to go into a new sheet right here, click a new tab, type in CTMLS. That's short for Connecticut MLS. All right, it'll come right up. Once the screen comes up right here, what you're going to do is you're going to select the matrix. Okay, in this matrix, there's a lot of things that one can find. So let me just give you a quick heads up as to what's going on. So when you hit the search button, I personally, we're going to search now in Connecticut and Waterbury. But what's going on over here, you could do a residential search. That's single family, and CO stands for condo. Rental search, you can just do, if somebody's looking specifically for rentals, you can help them out with rentals. Multifamily, then there's land. If you're looking for vacant land and commercial, it's usually a store or some big, if you're doing a factory or something like that. So let's go into residential single family home. We are going to look for single family homes in Waterbury. So as you can see, this over here is active. The active mark is checked off right there. So you see the active mark is checked off right here, and there are 268 units available. We're going to do single family homes, and now it goes down to 213. So let's do results. Out of these results brings a whole bunch of properties. Let's choose a random property, okay? Right here is a random property. 168 Berkeley, or 25 Whitman. Let's try that one. All right, so I'm going to go into 25 Whitman. So as you can see right here, the asking price is $82,000, okay? It was $85 original. This is the original price, and then it went down. Days on the market is 132 days. So it's been on the market for quite a while now. As you can see, PDCR is price reduction, okay? Price reduced, all right? The house has 680 square feet, so it's a pretty small house. So now I have a client, John Smith, who wants to put in an offer. So there's a few things. First of all, there's attached downloads. So typically there's property disclosures. You would have to download these property disclosures. Let me hit that. As soon as I hit that, it downloads right here. Now let's go back to the listing. And in the listing, I'm going to show you, you click on this icon right here. This takes you to transaction desk, and this will allow you to create a new transaction. Okay, obviously someone is already listing it, so we are going to represent the buyer. Our buyer's name is John Smith, who lives on 123 Main Street. So typically I use the wizard. All right, you could, in this case, this is a residential sale. It's not a residential rental. It's not a multifamily sale, so it's a residential sale. So there's a few options. You could be the listing agent, which obviously we're not. It could be the selling agent. Neither is, you're just a transactional, and you can be both if you're a dual agent. So we are the selling agent. Let's hit create. So now with this create, it's going to take us through a few options. I'm going to skip most of them. So all this, I'm going to skip. But the MLS is going to fill out some of it for you. It fills out the street address, the street name, the town, and all the good stuff that we need. The mortgage dates, we're going to leave that blank. We're going to put that in directly in the contract just to make it easier. So now the contacts. So this is listing agent, and this is listing broker. We're going to add John Smith. So he is going to be the buyer. We could add two buyers, but we're going to add just one buyer in this case. Right? If there are two buyers, it would be John Smith and Jane Smith. So John Smith, his email is johnsmith@gmail.com. Simple enough. His address is 123 Main Street. That's called Middletown, Connecticut, 06710. Okay? That's all we really need for the contract's purposes. So let's click on Save. Now we go on to next. So now we need the forms. So we have the disclosures down here. We need a different form. We need to put an offer. So like I said before, an offer is really a contract. When we fill in the contract as the buyer, once the seller signs it, now it's considered a contract. But first, it's an offer. So we go to standard real estate contract. We click that, and we hit add. We go next, so now we have this here, we go next. We added that form. You can add more than one form. Now we have documents. So what I'm going to do is add a document. We can just now go and drag it from the bottom and put it right here for safekeeping. And then we hit done. After we hit done, we're going to go to standard form of real estate contract. Now what I really love about the transaction desk is that it integrates the MLS, and all the information comes in automatically. So for some reason, the seller did not come in automatically. So what we can do is go back to the MLS right here. Okay, let's move that aside. Back to the MLS, and on here you can go on public records. On the public records, one can actually see who the owner is. The owner is Thomas Wojtek. Okay, Thomas Wojtek, and you can see where his address is. His address on 16 Patricia Lane. So let's copy that. We could copy that, and we could paste that right here. Now, not always is the city records accurate, so what you could do is, to double check, you can open up the disclosures and see what it says on the disclosures. On the disclosures, it does say Thomas Wojtek, and it does put his address as 25 Whitman Place. So I would just copy the disclosures and not go with this address right here. If you look here, there's a different address, okay? The address is 16 Patricia Lane. I would not go with that. I would just go with what it says on the disclosures, which we have right here, and I would write 25 Whitman Place. So let's go back to our sheet right here. We have Thomas Wojtek. If it was another person, we would write and. Now, guys, the real property address is 25 Whitman, and that also happens to be Thomas Wojtek's address. So let's put that right there. Okay? We're going to put this 25 right here. We're going to put the same Waterbury, Connecticut, and we're going to put 06706. So now for the initial deposit, we're going to put down $1,000. Let's put down $1,000. And let's say, I don't remember what the asking price is. Let's take a quick peek over here. Let's look at the listing. Let's call it $82,000. Okay, so the asking price is $82,000. Now my client, John Smith, really wants this deal. So we're going to give the full $82,000. However, he needs some money. He needs some help with his mortgage, and he needs $5,000 back for closing costs. So what he's going to do is he's going to offer a total of $87,000. So at $87,000, guys, let's do this real quick. So at $87,000, he's going to put down. Let's say he's putting down 5%. So let's do 87,000 times. So 5% is 0.05. So he's putting down $4,350. So he already put down $1,000. So by proceeds of a bank, institutional, or purchase money order, that could be a check or a money order, right? But it has to be a bank check at the time of closing. Whoops, let's get that calculator up there again. The calculator shows $4,350. So at $4,350, right, we're going to put down $3,350 over here. $3,350. All right, so that's total how much he's giving. And we said that he's going to be giving a total of 87. So we have to do 87 minus 4,350. So let's clear this, and we do 87,000 minus 4,350, right? Gives us a total of 82650. And if we put over here 82650, I'm sorry, I'm making a mistake. This goes here, right? Because this is the bank. Whoops. 82650. Let's put that 82650, right? And now we're short that 3250, or sorry, 3350. That's a total of $87,000, because this shows us by proceeds of a bank, the bank is going to give that, and balance to be delivered at closing in cash, certified check, or official bank check. That's what he has to come up with. So our buyer, John Smith, has to come up with a total of $4,350 plus what the bank is going to loan him. Okay? Now we're going to scroll down. So now the mortgage loan amount of prevailing interest rate. So how much is John Smith borrowing? He's borrowing $82,650. And typically it's a 30-year mortgage, so I put down 30-year mortgage. A written loan commitment to be obtained. So a mortgage could be obtained sometimes in 30 days, but typically it takes about 45 days because there's always some sort of delay. So 45 days is right around here. So I put down, that's about 45 days from now. And closing date is a minimum of 60 days to where September 1st, October 1st, November 1st. November 1st is a Friday. Someone may want to take it to Monday just to give a little bit of extra time. And this we could leave blank as well. Let's scroll down. Now this is today's contract date, which is September 1st. Inspection dates. So typically, you're going to need at least 2 weeks to get the inspection done because it takes some time. If you're going to call up an inspector today, he's not going to be able to come Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. You're lucky if Thursday or Friday. By the time he gets there, it's Monday. By the time he sends you back to the port, there's another 2 days. And then you have negotiation. Negotiating is 2-3 days at a minimum. So I like to put a minimum of 2 weeks. So 2 weeks would be right here. Let's put down 2 weeks for inspection contingency date. Now, depends on your clients. Some clients waive the inspection. We typically don't recommend this, especially investors. Investors usually waive it. So we're going to write, for this case, John Smith is a nervous first-time home buyer. He's going to do that building inspection, and we recommend it as well. Termites, he wants to do termites as well. So where I am at in my area, septic tanks are not so common. Okay, so there is no septic tank, so waive that because there isn't one. And everybody's going to do a title search because nobody buys a property without doing a title search. And waive the water, right? Nobody does water testing. Nobody does well. Some people do radon, so let's click yes. And I've never seen anybody do any of these tests, so I'm going to waive them. But if you want, you ask your client, and he could decide whether or not he wants to do those. Now let's scroll down. So in here, these are additional terms of seller's concession. We said that the buyer needs $5,000 back for closing. So we are going to write, seller is to credit buyer $5,000 towards closing costs. Now that could go for attorneys, that could go for the mortgage company, that could go for any fees that are associated with this deal. So now scrolling down, what I love about this, again, it puts in the MLS, puts in the listing agent, and it puts in me, the buyer's agent. Now the buyer's attorney, John Smith Esquire, whatever. You want to know the attorneys in there and their phone number. So what's going to happen is, in the middle of the deal, someone's going to call you and ask you, hey, what's going on with this deal? And you're not going to know the answer. So that's about it. And then what happens is, John Smith's here. The seller's name is not here. So if you want, you could go and copy this, copy and paste, Control-C, scroll down to the bottom, and just put the seller signature there. All you have to do is hit sign. Once you hit sign, let me show you what happens next. So guys, now this screen pops up. So there's a couple of options. You could do sign in line. That means that you give an order. The first guy signs and then the second guy signs. Or simul sign, which is obviously simultaneously. First come, first serve. Everybody gets the same email at the same time and everybody signs. Then over here, you could send an expiration date. I don't do that. And do not send reminders. I like to send people reminders because otherwise sometimes they forget and it gets lost in the shuffle of their email. All right? Now the participants. Let's scroll down to the participants. So the person who's going to be signing here is going to be Thomas Wojtek, the buyer, because we need him to sign it so we can give our offer in, right? For some reason, it's giving me problems. Let's see. The participant is missing required information. Let's see what he's missing. He's missing an email. I told you to put in an email, but, oh, sorry. Nope. We put in the wrong person. We're supposed to put in the buyer, and that is not the buyer. That is the seller. We're putting in the buyer, add participant, add from this transaction. This transaction, we have John Smith. John Smith, we have an email for. So we're adding John Smith. We're going to design the contract now. So here's the contract, everything we spoke about. The seller's time is Wojtek. This is his address, right? This is the buyer. This is where he lives. And this is the property that's the subject property. This is what he's buying. He's putting down $1,000. So over here, guys, again, it's $1,000 they're putting down. They're borrowing $82,650. Out of that $82,650, the bank is also going to give them back. They're going to allow the seller to give them back $5,000, and this is how much they're putting down: the $3,350 plus the $1,000. So it's a total of $4,250 that they have to come to closing with a check. This is again this number reflects C right here. It's going to be a mortgage of 30 years, and this is right here the month of the commitment. This is when they have to show that the bank is willing to loan them the money. So at this point, we have to call up the bank and say, hey, does John Smith have the commitment yet? And the closing is going to be 11/4. So we have to put it on our calendar that we have a closing on this date. And a few days before that, you have to write as well, follow up, is this happening? And as you can see, what I really love again is that automatically it puts in for us over here the initial for the buyer, John Smith. There's two more places where the buyer has to initial, John Smith, John Smith. Buyer's initial again, John Smith. One more, and at the bottom it's going to put a signature and a date, which is great. Then you hit next. Send invitations. Okay. And guys, that's it. I know it's a little long, that video, I'm going to try to do a shortened version of that, and I will do that right now. Thank you for watching.